good evening. This is Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We're live from our studios here at Adesawe, Kanda, Accra. Coming up in the bulletin tonight, haunted by shadows, more jaw-breaking details from the controversial AKSA deal and how it was brokered. Stay with us on Hot Edition as we delve this matter. Also coming up, youth of Berekum Pout onto the streets against Galamsey in their communities. We have the conversation here for you. And finally, to appear or not to appear in court, drama unfolds as Wontumi and Boahen lawyers vow into the courtroom during this legal vacation. Follow the debate here on Hot Edition and share your thoughts with us shortly. Many thanks for joining us again. We're live on 3FM 92.7. This is Hot Edition. We're also streaming live on our various social media platforms on Facebook, 3FM 927. We're also live on YouTube, 3FM 92.7. Let's begin the bulletin from here tonight. And fresh details are emerging today in the expanding AKSA energy bribery scandal as Ghana's Economic and Organized Crime Office, YOCO, confirms it is officially investigating specific local individuals, including a former government minister linked to the over $1 million bribe network. Officials say the names are being withheld for now to protect cross-border asset tracking. The probe targets properties and funds linked to public officials implicated in the controversial 2015 AKSA energy deal. While civil society groups demand a full review of the power contract, lawyers for former Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donko maintain his complete innocence. But working the phone to bring in Alhaji Amadou Sorogo, who was the chair of the Mines and Energy Committee at the time in contention. He will join us and we'll have a conversation on what this means. But while we're doing that, let's listen to some members of civil society who are making a case that government should not come up with the no enough evidence excuse while probing this matter. First, let's listen to co-founder of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo.
There was some references to some negotiations to pay money, and then some were actually paid. So clearly, it's likely that some monies were not eventually paid. So yeah, I can see that lacuna. But you see, the challenge here is that unfortunately, if whoever the witness that was taken from here, negotiated and went to the States to virtually nail Berekum, it actually means that, I mean, if we're really doing the trail back here, if we really wanted to know those who facilitated on the side of the Ghana part of the transaction, if we're able to know, I mean, we should almost have the same forces if we're really interested in fighting corruption, and then find a means of getting to know the best persons who have who facilitated this payment and those who got the payment. I can understand it's difficult, but clearly, if the Americans were able to get a witness, why shouldn't we be able to procure witnesses here? I mean,
so that was co-founder of Imani Africa, Franklin. We'll hear from other members of civil society, but we have Alhaji Amadou Sorogo on the line. Alhaji, thank you for making time to talk to us. This is Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Alhaji, so this happened almost a decade and more ago, and now it is coming back. First off, as chair of the Mines Energy Committee at the time in contention, how do you receive this, Alhaji?
Well, it's a normal thing, because definitely, if you know you are clean, some of these things, if you enter into politics, you are bound to encounter some of these things. It's just a normal thing, cool. People are making all sorts of allegations. So it's for you to just cool down and then explain things and then go. Life continues. There is a lot of work to be done in Ghana here. Ghana, the president has an agenda. We've all vowed and we have to help him to succeed. So it's cool. I don't have any problem at all.
And Alhaji, as chair of the Mines and Energy Committee at the time, what do you remember about this case or about this project?
Well, the first important thing is that we all know that that was the time when Dumso was at its peak. Every Ghanaian wanted us to solve the problem. His Excellency the President promised he was going to fix it. And there were three different layers: the immediate, the medium, and then the long term. So there was a need to quickly, add to the output that we were generating, and AKSA is one of the institutions, the energy producers, the companies that we thought we could rely on to increase our energy needs. And so, as the chairman for the Parliamentary Select Committee on Mines and Energy, my job is to make sure that I chair the Mines and Energy Committee. When Mr. Speaker refers the paper to us, the report to us, for us to go and then study, deliberate, and report back to the plenary. And that is exactly what we did, my sister.
And there are some names coming out. Well, names have not been mentioned, but descriptions of some members of parliament who were involved in this case. Some traveled, some received some monies, some did not. In that case, what reports did you receive? I'm sure that after the project, a report was presented to the Mines and Energy Committee. What report did you receive in that instance?
Which project are you talking about? Because as far as we are concerned, we are at the bottom line. I am not aware that any member of my committee traveled to Turkey based on this agreement. I, as the chairman, I never traveled to Turkey. I don't know. And I know for a fact that none of my members went to Turkey. Of course, there are some, just like it's been done, you cannot just buy something, especially energy, when somebody says have the capacity to produce such a number of kilowatts. You cannot, when it involves hundreds of millions of dollars, you cannot just sit down. This is taxpayers' money. You need to do verification. And verification, it is not the MPs who do it. We are not technical men. And so the areas where I know of the VRA, the Electricity Corporation, maybe Gridco, maybe these companies, energy, and those companies that are technical in nature, they would have traveled to Turkey, and that all of that culminated in their report to government. Government presents their request to Parliament based on whatever conclusions that they've made, and then Parliament refers it to the appropriate select committee, which I chair. The select committee, which is made up of both parties, it was 18, supported by our clerk deputy and 4 or 6 others, bringing the total to about 24, 26. We went through, we invited a memorandum, we invited people who had interest to come and share, and we all sat down. After various deliberations, critical, some of the clauses, we took them out, others we made sure that they were reinforced. And I'm happy that nobody is saying that we have a bad agreement. I haven't heard that. What I hear is that the way by which the company, won the contract is what the United States government is worried about. It wasn't transparent. They won it through what. And so, as far as I'm concerned, we did our job as required by the Constitution and the understanding orders of Parliament. We sent it. We agreed on consensus. All the 80 members, we agreed because we did a very good job. And we recommended it to the plenary where all the members of Parliament came together. We debated it, and then additions and subtractions were made. At the end of the day, it was passed and approved and ratified. So that is all what I can say.
And Alhaji, you just mentioned that the 18-member committee, in the new reports about this conviction, the same 18-member committee is mentioned. And, some parts of the reports indicate that some monies changed hands within the 18. Alhaji, what do you know about this one too?
Are you sure that, have you gotten a copy of the judgment yourself? I just want to find, have you gotten a copy?
Yes, Alhaji, we've seen parts and bits of it.
Parts and bits of it, yeah. And they are saying that an 18-member committee, are you sure?
Well, that is That is...
Or they are saying that some members of parliament...
Some members of parliament...
are alleged to have benefited.
Yes.
Yes. So it remains allegation because I, as the chairman, the Berekum man, I only heard his name. I don't know him, whether he's black, green, red, tall, or short. I don't know him. I've never met him. So I don't know who they are talking about. And in any case, I mean, it's an insult. It's an indictment on my part and my committee members for somebody to be saying that he gave 46,000 for 18-member committee plus a supporting staff of us 6 to 8. My sister, is it not an insult? Am I that cheap? Are my members who are ministers of state and deputy ministers so cheap to the point that we can't? And then also go down. I'm being told that they say that after the ratification. My sister, if somebody says after the ratification, where is the... I don't understand what is meant by bribery. Because I know that none of my members, because I, as the chairman, I never received anything. And I don't know. So those who are saying that money is exchanged, we are challenging them. They should come and point. This is the one who took it. Maybe I can then go and demand my shares. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, nothing of that nature. And we are not, excuse my language, useless people.
Right.
Each one of us, we know what we are about. Okay? And so I will sit down for somebody to come at a time that His Excellency, the whole nation, was craving for us to resolve the problem, the energy crisis, the doomsday, at a time that my government was in dire need to prove that, yes, we'll resolve it. For me to bend down, I'm very sorry.
Right.
And what pains me, I decided I wasn't going to comment until yesterday when I watched a program, I don't know, a TV3 program, Daybreak or something, and prominent people, including my own uncle, my brother, my friend, Dr. Nyaunya Otamakulu. And you see, when they say that it is sad that our members of parliament were involved, as if it is a fact that somebody took money. Nobody, not a member of my committee. I can't say it because nobody brought me. I'm the chairman. My ranking is Katie Hammond. The vice chairman was Mutawaki, who is now the managing director of Ghana Water Company. The deputy ranking was Enin, who has been fighting the MPP. And so, and then we have very prominent members,
right.
Old MPs. So, my dear,
Alaji, so it looks like you are vouching for yourself, and as a chairman of the committee, I think we'll need that integrity for you to be able to be the chairman of the committee. But Alaji, can you vouch as same for some members of the committee, or could it be the case that maybe some members of the committee received and it didn't come to your notice as the chair?
Human beings are human beings. And the way I know, if anything would have been paid, because one member of none of the members came to me privately, because I am the chairman, to come and try to convince me that, look, let's do 1, 2, 3, because it was my government. And so as far as I'm concerned, no member. There is the possibility that Berekum use our name to go and convince the Turkey people that I'm going to give this to this, I'll give this to this, I'll give this to this, to be able to collect the money and pocket it or whatever it is. These are all possibilities. But I am saying that me, Sorogo, and the committee members that I know and work with said, I don't believe that any of them could have done that. No money came to us. Most of them, we never met the man. We don't know the man. Whether it's green, black, tall, red, we don't know him. I don't know him, and I was the chairman.
Alaji, so going forward, this happened like a decade ago, and now it is coming back to us. How do we manage this going forward?
No, the issue is that going forward, we have to be very sure, because you see, this is an international company from Turkey. The person comes, he's the one fronting. And so how will you know that this man has gone to take such money from the Turkish company until, yes. So we all have to be careful. We all have to be committed to the cause, to our work, and know that, look, God is watching us.
Right.
If you think today, nobody has seen you. If you do a bad thing, tomorrow it will come out. So it's a caution. it is an eye-opener that all of us must do our work diligently. And that is why some of us are bold enough to come out and say, look, me, I am prepared. Whichever investigative body that wants to come, I've opened up my arm. And I think all the other 18 members, we are all ready. Because we know we didn't do anything untoward.
Okay.
We rather recommended a very good deal.
Right, Alaji, I was going to come there. Looking at the crisis at the time and the deal we go with AKSA, would you say it was value for money for us at the time or even now?
Come again. Can you repeat what you're saying?
So my question is, looking at the crisis at the time and then the deal we brokered with AKSA, would you say that there was value for money for us as a country?
Excellently. It was. You see, then it means that we are doubting the entire parliament, the 275 members. Let me tell you one thing. The mere fact that a committee recommends a report to the plenary does not mean that it will be accepted the way it is. It is only a committee made up of 18 men. The entire parliament is made up of 275 men. And each one got a copy. Go and do your own research. Find out whether it was good, whether value for money. And I think as at that time, it was one of the best that we did to be able to resolve the doomsday problem.
Were there other options? Why did we settle on AKSA? Let me just take you back in time.
No, but that one, it is not me to answer. I wasn't the government, okay? I am in parliament, and the government brings a report. Cabinet has gone through many options and have come with AKSA. So I cannot challenge why AKSA and not this. I don't know how many were there. I think the best was what the government chose, and the government brought that company to us, and we did due diligence, and excellently, we approved by consensus. We recommended it. It went to plenary. We did all the inside and the outside, go in, go out, and then at the end of the day, we accepted it, and we rectified it.
Right.
So if there were any other better options, I know my government would have gone for it.
Right.
As at that time, I think this was the best that we could do.
Okay. Alaji, thank you so much for talking to us. Alaji Amadu Sorgo, former chair of the Mines and Energy Committee, at the time in contention in 2015, talking to us about the role his committee played in securing that AKSA contract and all the issues coming up with that. Let's stay on this because we have a former member of parliament, Inus Afuseni, also joining us on phone. Honorable, thank you for your time tonight. Let me just come to you with this one. 10 years ago, it is coming back to us today. What has been your thoughts about this whole issue since it broke out from, let's say, the weekend till now?
What has come to me by way of reviewing all that has happened 10 years ago is the apparent lack of regulations to deal with how foreign entities or persons who have matters to be transacted in Parliament, how they interact with the members of Parliament. And I think that the earlier Parliament looked at it and provide a framework within which such engagements will take place, the better. For instance, or I have been a 4-term member of Parliament.
Right.
I do not remember at any time that an agreement is going to be approved, the beneficiaries of that agreement will meet members of Parliament and give them money for such approvals. I don't remember that any such occurrence. Now, but I know that when Parliament is to undertake an activity outside Accra, sometimes the beneficiaries of that activity contribute to the cost of holding such meetings outside Accra. Now, I'm not saying that is right, but I'm saying that Parliament should provide for a framework which recognizes and acknowledges the contribution of the beneficiary to that agreement to the work of Parliament. So that is what I see which is missing. For instance, and the chairman of the committee, the ex-wild chairman of the committee, is right.
Right.
You have 18 members of parliament and about 4, 5, or 6 supporting staff. Now, at the time that they said $4,000 to $6,000 was paid to parliament, it was not paid to one person in parliament. I don't think so. The way I look at it is that probably 18 times the Ghanaian cedi, which was about 3.6 then, will give you the amount of money that the investor used to support the process in parliament of MPs going to sit down to consider the agreement. That is if they were traveling outside the country, outside the Accra. What is missing is that this ought to have been declared by Parliament and by the clerk to the committee and made part of the report.
And we don't have that in the report.
We don't have that in the report. So that is what I mean. So that lack of acknowledgement, which goes to fund transparency, and that Parliament was not doing anything untoward, can only classify that payment as a bribe. Because if you multiply 3.6, and that time the exchange rate was about 3.2, 3.6, but 46,000, and the chairman and the ranking members and their deputies are treated differently from other members of the committee, and then the committee members, and then the supporting staff. You will see clearly that this was not any substantial money that was given to an individual. But because it was never acknowledged and put in the report, the American authorities are entitled to think that this money was used to bribe Parliament.
So the question coming out now is that, there's that conversation about how much money was shared or allegedly shared among the number of people. But now, and people are asking, should that money have been even distributed or shared in the first place, whether it was too much or it was too small?
Yes, so it goes back to the transparency thing. It goes back to the disclosure. Okay? If you are not doing anything untoward, if you are not doing anything that can inappropriately influence you, the best way to be above board is to declare it.
Right.
That is, if money was used to support the process. If money was used to support the process. And the chairman is perfectly right. Sometimes the committee members will not know. The clerk to the committee will deal with the people. So, look, we are going to Kofredua, we are going to Ada to consider your bill. So we need to fuel the vehicles of MPs. Or we need to rent accommodation. This is the accommodation that Parliament has given us. But where we are going, the rates are this. That doesn't make the case right. But if that such contribution is made to the work of Parliament, it ought to be disclosed.
As Honorable, so going forward, how do we manage this so that it doesn't turn into something else? And it's been 10 years ago. Do we have the wherewithal, if we want to probe this? Where do we start from?
The Foreign Corrupt Practices Act makes such payments corrupt activities.
Right.
Because you the beneficiary of the agreement, are facilitating the approval. And you ought not to facilitate the approval. Now, if you are facilitating the approval and you disclose the facilitation, that only mitigates the corrupt practice. Okay? So I think that Parliament must come out with a framework. Parliament must put in place a regime that either absolutely bans any contribution to a committee members' work from persons outside Parliament. Or put it in another way, Parliament must ensure that only monies approved by Parliament and given to the committees are used for the purposes of the committee's work.
Right.
And that no group of persons or institutions or establishments to contribute to the work of Parliament by way of providing resources, unless those resources go to Parliament itself for Parliament to disburse.
Raji, thank you for your time for talking to us. We appreciate this. Thank you. We've been engaging former Member of Parliament, Alhaji Inusa Fuseni. He says that going forward, Parliament, there should be a framework or a roadmap on how we disclose what funds is going to where and being used for what. And to make it even easier, if Parliament is going out for any technical recce or whatever it is, they should stick to whatever budget government gave them. I think it makes it easier for everybody. This is Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We have been engaging some other members of the Mines and Energy Committee at the time. Let me bring in my colleague, Sistus Don Ulo. Sistus, who have we been talking to and what do we know?
Yes, you know the Honorable Alhaji Amadou Sorgo was chairman of the committee at the time. His deputy at the time was the Honorable Motawakilu, Adam Motawakilu. He was Member of Parliament for Damango at the time. And these claims actually came up first in 2020. And at the time, he had issued a strong press release denying and rejecting all allegations and accusations of receiving bribe in this matter.
Right.
When we engaged him today, the same thing. In fact, he referenced us to that statement he made in 2020. And if you check the publication, you would see that this was published on 17th April on Joy Online. And it says, NDC MP Adam Motawakilu has rejected claims by ex-Tor boss Asante Beko paid bribes to lawmakers to get a power contract approved in 2015. The Damango MP says the allegations by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission come as a shock to him. He told journalists in Parliament Friday that as vice chairman of the committee of the House, when the said contract was approved, no money exchanged hands. And if you recall, same statement the Honorable Amadou Sorgo made to us just this evening. And there's a direct quote, Parliament never received anything in respect to performing our legitimate duties as to passing of the power purchasing agreement. It wasn't only this, we passed several. There was no situation where there were underhand dealings. And that is what he told members. And this is not the only deal actually he spoke about. Remember, there was also the heated debate about the Ameri deal. And again, that was also another deal that sparked so much controversy. And he's on record to have said that he rejected $200,000 bribe over the deal. And it's, at the time, he was ranking member of the committee. This was also published in 2018. So indeed, both the chairman of the committee at the time, the deputy chairman at the time, and the ranking member of the committee at the time, the Honorable Katie Hammond, they have all rejected any claims of bribery in this matter. Recall we spoke with the Honorable Katie Hammond yesterday. We played back an interview he had with Kemine Amano.
On the Daily Brief?
Yes, on the Daily Brief on TV3. So the three key figures on the Mines and Energy Committee at the time all reject claims of any wrongdoing in the brokering of that particular deal, at least at the parliamentary level. And
to think that the initial reports that came did not mention any specific names, but here we have people already coming up to say, I don't know anything I wasn't involved. What does it say about our officials and probably the attention they pay to these things? Well,
there's an important question you asked the Honorable Amadou Sorgo, whether he could vouch for other members of the committee.
Right.
And his response was that, well, he can vouch for himself and members of his committee. But if anyone else used the name of the committee or the house to go and collect money, that he cannot speak to, and he wasn't aware of it. So officials must pay particular attention to their transactions and dealings like this.
Right.
How people use the name of the legislature or the executive or committees of the House to do things. I think that it's something that Parliament must begin to pay attention to. And we should not always wait for the things to get to a head. I mean, there should have been a transcript of all the transactions that Parliament did when this matter first came up in 2020. If we had that, then there would have been full transparency. And by now, all of us would have been familiar with the case.
Exactly.
But you see, it came up in 2020. We spoke about it. It went quiet. And then, upon conviction of the former tour boss, this has come up again.
Right.
And members of the political class, duty bearers, must be very cautious when they are dealing with other members or other third parties.
Right, thank you for bringing us this up. It looks like the case is not going away anytime soon.
Not at all.
Right.
Because recall that yesterday there were two statements we got. One from Yoko and the other from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And we understand that both Yoko and the OSP are interested in this and will bring a Ghanaian dimension to it.
Right.
We wait to see.
Sisters Don Ulo is my colleague here at Media Journal and also producer of Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. But let's go to the courts now, because something interesting is developing or coming out from there. Well, 6 days, that is all the time former National Signals Bureau Director has to present counsel in court, and the clock is ticking. Boahen and his wife, Angela Ejay Boateng, did not have legal representation present at the Accra High Court when their case was called. The sitting judge warned that if by the next hearing on August 17th there was no legal representation for the two accused persons, either of two things will happen. They will either represent themselves, meaning at this stage of the trial, the accused persons will have to cross-examine prosecution witnesses, or the said witness will be discharged. In court, it appears this has a lot to do with the current conversations around legal vacations. And we have been engaging lead defense counsel Samuel Atachia and the Deputy Attorney General Justice Ramsay on the daily brief. Let's listen to their conversation with Kemini Amano earlier today, or some minutes ago.
Samuel Atachia over Zoom, and the plan is to answer the questions on all of our minds as to why he wasn't in court today to represent Kobnedu Boahen. Counsel, I'll try again.
Before the court, rape cases,
I see.
Manslaughter cases, stealing, they're all criminal cases.
So, counsel, just so I
and
understand,
the judges who are conducting these cases are arresting, and so are the lawyers. So this selective, arrangement at the instance of the CJ leaves much to be desired, and that discretion, we might want to question it.
So just so I understand, you're saying that your absence today is in defiance of the CJ's orders, that certain cases should be heard during the legal vacation, correct?
Certainly, that is what it is.
I see. I have the Deputy Attorney General here who has written that, look, the legal vacation is not for lawyers. The legal vacation is actually judges' vacation and not for you lawyers. And no lawyer should be telling the Chief Justice that they need to rest. And so some cases should not be called when the Chief Justice chooses otherwise. Dr. Justice Ramsay, how do you respond to what you have heard from lead defense counsel on the Edu Boahen case when he says that I wasn't in court today because it's legal vacation and I should be resting?
Thank you very much. The question is not whether counsel is tired or not. If courts were run based on the tiredness of individual lawyers, you can imagine what would happen in a democracy. So whether counsel is tired or not, no one can take that away from him. The issue is whether a court proceeding should continue simply because counsel says he's tired. And that is where we are of the view that the tiredness of counsel or counsel's private circumstances need not determine whether a case will be heard in court or not. Now, secondly, there are situations where lawyers may have genuine reasons why they cannot come to court. And it may even be true that tiredness may be one of such reasons. But the solution to that problem is not to say and sit in your office and say that you will not attend court because of legal vacation. If a counsel has a problem or is tired, what counsel needs to do as far as the professional law practice is concerned is to appear before the judge and make a case for an adjournment based on the circumstances. Then the judge will consider your plea, and judges have always done that, whether in term time or in vacation. Judges always consider counsel circumstances in adjourning cases. And I can say on authority that I'm in a couple of cases with my good friend who is the defense lawyer here, Lawyer Tachia, where adjournment has been given, where proceedings have been cut short because of his personal circumstances, where he needed to attend meetings, where he needed to attend to family reasons, adjournment has been secured. So to create the impression that it is because he's tired that he doesn't want to come to court will be a wrong way to look at the issue. Now, secondly, counsel, I understand him to be saying that it is only his case or some specific few cases that are scheduled to be heard in the vacation. That is completely false. And you see, that is a deliberate twist of the facts to create an impression that a system has been set up to persecute some particular individuals. The practice of having cases heard during legal vacation is as old as the judiciary itself. It begins from England, and now we practice it in Ghana. It is something that we've always done. And if you follow what conversation is going on, there is evidence that judges from 2011, for instance, Chief Justice Georgina Wood has actually asked commercial court to sit throughout the vacation. There are instances where the previous Chief Justice, so it is a normal thing. The impression being created that some persons are targeted is completely false, in the sense that, you see, there are a number of vacation judges. Oral cases are not before only these judges. There are oral cases in other courts. Those courts, the judges in those courts are not appointed as vacation judges. Therefore, those cases are suspended because the judges are not. And in respect of these judges, they do not only do oral cases, they conduct other cases, like he's mentioning. Some of them conduct robbery, rape, and other cases, and those cases too are ongoing.
So Doug, just to get the point straight, what you are telling us now is that the legal vacation is not being used to hear only high-profile cases.
At all.
So there are regular cases being heard in certain courts, not interlocutory, but substantially.
Precisely.
Okay, right. Yeah. And then it takes me back to the defense counsel in the matter of Kwabena Boahen in court. Counsel, you left your client in a bit of a pickle when you decided that you will not go to court today. What we are learning is that you could have gone to court and then put in a plea with the judge that you needed that needed to be accommodated before then leaving the case. Why wasn't that an option for you?
Because I have petitioned the CJ. The decency of engagement is that it's the CJ that gave the warrant to the judge to continue with the case. So the judge should have stayed in hands and to hear what the CJ will say. That's the decency of everything. You see, so the judge cannot say, okay, I've not heard from the CJ, although it's petitioned from the CJ, but I'm giving you next week, come and do your own case. Please, we should stop this kind of, engagements, so that people will turn around and say somebody is showing disrespect to the judge or whatever.
Perhaps
who gave the warrant? The CJ. The lawyers have petitioned against the warrants issued by the CJ. Shouldn't we say that let's abide the outcome of the determination of our petition to the CJ?
Well, so you have been listening to the lead defense counsel, Samuel Atachia, as well as the Deputy Attorney General, Justice Shremsai, speaking with Kemini Amano on the Daily Brief. The conversation is about the fact that Samuel Atachi, a lawyer, did not appear in court today to represent his clients, the former National Signals Bureau director and his wife. And the order from the judge is that if in 6 days their lawyer does not show up or in the next sitting, they will have to represent themselves and cross-examine the witnesses that will be presented by the prosecution. In 6 days, that will be August 17th. We will see how that pans out. This is Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Let's move on and go to Berekum, because we know a group of youth associations in the Berekum East Municipality of the Bono region have demonstrated against illegal mining activities in Berekum and its surrounding communities. The group, known as the Berekum Environmental Protection and Anti-Galamsey Coalition, staged the protest over the destructive activities of illegal miners, which they say are destroying farms and polluting water bodies in the municipality. Leaders of the coalition are calling on authorities to take urgent steps to protect the environment and their livelihoods. We have Reverend Kofi Tre, leader of the youth associations, joining us. Reverend, thank you for your time on the bulletin tonight. How devastating is Galamsey in Berekum that has moved you to pour onto the streets to stage this demonstration?
Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here. My regards to everyone, including your listeners. It's just about 2-3 months ago, we've seen the water bodies, the rivers that flow through various areas of this traditional area, changing color rapidly. And of course, we know some mining activities are going on. We classify them as illegal because people are not doing the right thing. But what is really prompting us is the water that is changing color. We have 3 rivers here in Berekum. One is the Kora, the Amoma, and the Chimina. All these waters, in fact, quite recently, people could pick dead fish and dead crabs from some of the rivers. Now, farmers cannot even use the water from these rivers to water their crops. They can use it to spray their cocoa farms. I mean, the devastation is very, very, it's so telling that we think if we don't rise up, before anyone could say Chuck, there'll be nothing left here.
Reverend, we know that you presented a petition to the MP for it to reach the quarters of government. What next for the youth of Berekum? Or what are you asking for in your petition?
What is happening here in Ghana, in most of these communities, maybe what we are fighting for now is not going to be a very successful fight unless we are all prepared to go back to the drawing board, to look at the Mining Act, the small-scale mining, whatever, and to rethink it and to redraw it. Because the point is, it entails so much. Technical men, EPA reps, water resources reps, health and safety. Nothing is happening in any of these areas. And that's true of the whole country. And if something is not working, I think we need a reset, because it is simply not working. You would bear me witness that all this small-scale mining, whatever regulations we put in place, it is simply not working. Communities are being destroyed. People are being deprived of their livelihoods. And the point is, the people that are suffering under all these schemes, whether they are right or not, is the most vulnerable in the society.
Right.
Our farmers, the semi and the uneducated ones, people who have made farming their livelihoods.
Reverend, so what are you asking from government in your petition? If you can be brief on that for me.
Yeah, what we are asking is that the Minerals Commission cannot sit in Accra and just look at geological surveys or whatever without knowing the community and grant a mining license to somebody to come and mine in that community. When they come over and they talk of cooperative farming, there's nothing like cooperative farming. These are Galamsey campaigns who have money, to devastate local areas and just make their own money. What we are saying is that if they want to do these things, but of course Berekum wants any type of mining that will turn our soil upside down, we don't want it. That is Berekum speaking for ourselves.
Right.
But for the country as a whole, we are asking the Minerals Commission, they shouldn't be sitting in Accra and do that type of armchair work. You need to go to the community, know what is going on, what are the people living on. You need to know all these things before you can even grant the licenses. You don't just go around with geological surveys and all these things and so there is gold there, we've given the concession to somebody. No, that is poor work.
Right.
And that is what we are all seeing here.
Okay. Reverend, thank you so much for talking to us. We're looking forward to the response government is going to give you. We're also working the phone to try and speak with the Member of Parliament for Berekum East, Simon Ampabeng Treme. When we're able to raise him, we'll bring his conversation to you. But this is Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Berekum Pout is standing by to bring us the latest in the world of sports. Don't go away.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. My name is Berekum Pout. Now, ahead of the 6th edition of 3FM's Tour du Ghana, the official launch for the event took place earlier on Tuesday at the Best Western Premier Hotel in Accra. Cyclists will compete for a whopping 25,000 Ghana cedis on August 28 and 29, as the race is expected to take place from Accra all the way through Kwehu to Kumasi. The following report has more details.
Akosombo, Oibi, Cape Coast, Kwehu and Aflao. These were the final destinations for the 3FM Tour du Ghana in the previous 5 editions. On Tuesday, an official launch for the 6th edition was held at the Best Western Hotel in Accra with the theme Ride the Rhythm. The event included a number of dignitaries, including the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Honorable Kofi D. Adams. He praised 3FM for the continued work around the competition and reiterated his commitment to supporting other sports like cycling.
I commend Media General and 3FM for staying committed. I congratulate the Ghana Cycling Federation for the work being done. I encourage our cyclists to keep pushing. There is something valuable growing here, and with consistency, investment, and the right partnership, I believe the 3FM Tour du Ghana can become one of the sporting events that Ghana proudly presents to Africa and the world.
Head of station for 3FM, Lois Kisiedu, believes the competition, which will span 2 days, will be exciting and extremely competitive.
Every single year, even when organizing this event has been incredibly challenging, it is about promoting healthy lifestyles as well. It is also about showcasing the incredible beauty of Ghana.
Over 100 cyclists are expected to feature, including paracyclist Kweku Ayesu Bosman. Set to participate in his 3rd 3FM Tour du Ghana competition, Bosman aims to be the best amongst paracyclists this time.
I am on fire. I am joining it. We are closing it. We are finishing it. And then that's finishing of the deal. We are racing from Accra to Kumasi this time. And you know, I am doing it. Last time I did it, this time I'm finishing it. The last time I was 2nd position. This time I want to close it. I want to finish it.
The cyclists will pedal from Accra to Kwehu on August 28 and move to the finish line in Kumasi on August 29.
Well, that was a 3 Sports report on Tour du Ghana, which will be taking place much later in this month, August 28 to August 29. My name is Berekum Pout, bringing an end to Hot Edition sports segment here. My name is Berekum Pout.
Welcome back. This is Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Just gone by was sports with Berekum Pout. Now, let's continue with our stories and still stay with issues of the court, legal vacations, appeals, bail conditions, and all of that. We know that the Office of the Attorney General is opposing a bail application that was submitted by lawyers of Wontumi in the first case, the illegal mining or Tanonimiri case. And my colleague again, Sisters Don Ulu, is here. Sisters, we know that there's the documents coming from the Office of the Attorney General. If you read the fifth paragraph, it says that the Attorney General is opposed to the prayer of the appellant to applicants for bail pending appeal. What do we know about this, and what does this mean to Wontumi's conviction?
That is right, Grace. That was filed today, actually, around 11:30 in the morning, and that has to do with Wontumi's application to go on bail whilst they appeal against the conviction, sentencing and conviction that we saw very recently. Now, the reasons that have been given in this affidavit sworn to by a state attorney at the Office of the Attorney General, it says that if you look at the appeal that has been filed, it has no chances of succeeding.
Right.
So there's no point in letting the convict go on bail when you know that the appeal that you have filed cannot or will not succeed. Again, it says that the second reason given for opposing the bill for the bail application is that Wontumi is at flight risk. That is to say that if they release him on bail, he will most likely run out of the jurisdiction, and then there will be they won't be able to bring him back to serve the sentence. So on that ground, the Attorney General is opposing the application that has been brought before them. Those are two. There are other grounds that have been stated, but these are the two key ones that we can talk about.
What does this mean to his conviction?
Well, this is yet to be heard by the court. It's just been filed. Once the court sits on it, we will hear the pronouncement. If the court denies the bail, they may decide to appeal it. If the court does not deny the bail or grant the bail, then it means that Wontumi will be out whilst the processes for the appeal are pending.
Then his other cases will also be running
concurrently. But the other cases actually have nothing to do with this. Remember that in the other case, the Exim Bank case, there's a plea bargain that is being negotiated.
Going on, yeah.
Yes.
All right, sisters, thank you for bringing us the updates also from the court. So it means that this is the argument that has been put forward by the Attorney General. The judge is yet to sit on this and then sit on what Wontumi's team has also presented. And then make a decision on whether he'll be granted the bail or not.
Exactly.
Right. Sisters, thank you for making it easier for all of us to understand all the legalities that comes with this issue. And that will be it for us on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We came to you live from our studios here at Adesawe, Kanda, Accra. You can log on to 3news.com and get some more stories. My name is Grace Hamuajiman. Thank you for your time and a good evening.